Some companies can give you such incredible outperformance that you have to wonder if the people running them have discovered some kind of magic formula for wealth creation. Take Horizon Pharmaceuticals, a total Cramer fave, HZNP, the $4.9 billion pharmaceutical roll-up with 7 drugs on the market targeting unmet needs in pain, rheumatology, and rare orphan diseases, including Vimovo and Duexis for arthritis pain, Pennsaid for arthritis of the knee, Actimmune for a number of orphan diseases, and Rayos, a time-delayed prednisone treatment for rheumatoid arthritis. Now, Horizon has been on a monster run with the stock up 147% year-to-date, not to mention giving us a spectacular 91% gain since we last spoke to the CEO in late January. That's right, 91%. How'd they do it? I like to think of Horizon as a smaller early innings version of Allergan, nay Activist, the gigantic pharma roll-up that's been launching its stock higher via huge acquisitions for many years. Horizon has a similar model. They make acquisitions buying either individual drugs or entire companies. Remember, they're an inverted Dublin-based company, and then use their commercial know-how to grow their sales much faster than anyone could expect. Most recently, Horizon snapped up Hyperion for $1.1 billion at the end of March, gained more orphan drug exposure, and its stock rallied 18% the day the deal was announced because Wall Street has so much confidence in Horizon's ability to execute. Plus, the company still has plenty of cash to do more deals. It's darn cheap stock, given its growth rate 18 times next year's earnings estimates. Of course, you can do stock deals, too. Let's take a closer look with Timothy Walbert, who is the chairman and CEO of Horizon Pharmaceuticals. Hear more about where his company's headed. Mr. Walbert, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thanks so much for having me on again, Jim. I really appreciate it.
Well, first, congratulations. It's been quite a run since we've seen you. I'm trying to figure out how much of it, if you had to try to add things up, was the great Hyperion acquisition, how much of it is how much more you are getting out of each company, and how much is the fact that you've really told people, listen, we're not done. We can do more M&A than we've already done.
Well, I think you hit on the key points, Jim. First of all, it's all about execution for us. The key thing is not what we acquire, it's what we do with what we acquire, and our ability to execute both our base business while integrating rapidly the new transactions and driving the business forward. So it's been an execution story, and we expect to be aggressive moving forward from a business development standpoint.
Well, Tim, one of the things that's amazing is I have a lot of orphan drug CEOs. I know you watch the show. And they bought an orphan drug. Right. Yours is the first orphan drug that I've heard that actually could be a pipeline within a pipeline, not one off. This drug this Actimmune can do a lot more than what it's already been doing, right?
Right. It's actually been studied for over 20 years in almost 200 different studies. And what we found is a very rare neurologic disease called Friedreich's ataxia, where we just began a phase 3 trial last week in about 90 patients. And this is a neurologic condition, unfortunately, where patients in their early teens wind up wheelchair-bound, and many die in their early 20s, and no FDA-approved treatment. And there's about 4,000 children, of which half of them are in a registry where we have access to knowing who they are. So ultimately, when we get the data late next year and have positive results, we could be commercializing by third quarter of 2017 in this exciting disease, with an area of opportunity of $500 million to $1 billion alone in that one indication. And we're also looking at several others, such as partnering in certain oncology tumor types, such as bladder cancer, in combination with PD-1 inhibitors that have been shown some success as well.
Geez, that would be incredible for a drug you paid just about $1 billion for. No wonder the stock went up. I want to talk to you about something that only you seem to be addressing. There's tremendous merger activity we're hearing about in the HMOs. 5 goes to 3. I happen to know I'm battling my HMO. I've been battling them more and more every time I have a prescription. I got one right now that it's $40,000 if they don't give it to me, and it's $200 if they do. I don't think I'm alone. Prescriptions Made Easy is your way of dealing with this ridiculous hurdle. Tell our people about it.
It's very simple, Jim. We try to do the right thing for the patient. Our target is to make sure the patients pay the lowest out-of-pocket possible. In the case of Vimovo, Duexis, and Pennsaid 2%, it's between $0 and $10 per month. And we also, with this program, aim to reduce the burden for the physicians who have, like you, Jim, have their prescriptions blocked or not paid for. So if a patient's not covered, we cover that cost. When we look at the program overall, a physician who puts their patients into this program writes about 10 prescriptions, or 10 times the number of prescriptions as physicians who don't. So the program does the right thing for the patient, the right thing for the physician. It allows them to write what they think is the best for their patients, and ultimately we get much more prescriptions and greater increasing revenue, as you've seen in our sequential quarterly results.
Yeah, the battle has begun, and when we get these mergers and these HMOs, it's just going to be your doctor and you battling against them. And I think that PME is the way to go. Now, a lot of your drugs that are osteoporosis, they seem like uniquely fit for, say, people who ran in their teens and 20s and are now in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and have very bad knees. This must be a population that grows by 60,000 a week.
It's a great growing population, Jim. There's about 100 million prescriptions each year alone of NSAIDs, or these pain relievers such as Duexis, Vimovo, and Pennsaid 2%. What we love is there's about 500,000 prescriptions each week of ibuprofen. Duexis, we believe, is an improved version of that. And there's about 250,000 prescriptions each week of naproxen. And Vimovo, we believe, is an improved version of that. And with Pennsaid 2%, for those patients who can't tolerate oral agents, it's a great topical agent to relieve osteoarthritis of the knee, and we've had great success where physicians really see the benefit for their patients and continue to accelerate prescriptions because we've done the right thing for the patient as well.
Okay, last question. There's a really terrific piece by Morgan Stanley where it talks, it's an overweight, and it's got a $38 price target. I think it's actually the best piece of research on your company. It says, we project 2015 earnings per share of $1.20 to grow 50% to $1.80 in 2016. Is that a stretch, or is that something that you think you can do?
I think when you look at consensus and where all the sell side has been, they expect us to continue on the great growth rate we've been. If you look at prescriptions on a year-over-year, weekly basis, Duexis is up over 140%, Vimovo's up 51%, Pennsaid's up 423%. So prescriptions are rapidly growing, and we expect to continue to accelerate the business and meet or beat those expectations.
Well, you've got quite a stock, and it's because it is absolutely right. It's the execution. Timothy Walbert, Chairman, CEO of Horizon Pharmaceuticals. This stock is not done going higher. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks so much, Jim. Great to be here again.
After the break, I'm going to try to make you more money. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.